Welcome to a new fascinating episode where we explore the boundaries of science, the mysteries of life, and the concepts that have changed the way we view genetics.
Today, we are talking about Piotr Petrovich Garyaev. Piotr was born on the 1st of February 1942 in the city of Perm, Russia, and passed away on the 17th of November 2020 at the age of 78. Piotr was a Russian researcher in molecular biology and quantum biology, a doctor of biological sciences, and the founder of an unconventional direction in genetics known as linguistic wave genetics or wave genetics. In recent years, his name has gone viral. For some, a visionary. For others, a pseudoscientist. But who was he truly, according to official sources? And what did he actually say beyond the myths?
Garyaev conducted research both during the Soviet era and post-Soviet period, and was associated with the Russian Academy of Natural Sciences, an institution distinct from the officially recognized Russian Academy of Sciences. This distinction sparked numerous controversies and fueled skepticism within the scientific community. He proposed a revolutionary approach to DNA, not just as a chemical code, but as a dynamic system interacting with physical fields and frequencies, influencing the biological functions of the organism. Garyaev claimed that DNA could function like a biocomputer, and that genetic information could be modulated through waves it emits, absorbs, or records, including coherent radiation and words. This idea generated both interest and skepticism. Throughout his career, he published numerous papers, founded the Institute of Quantum Genetics, and was involved in projects exploring the vibrational interactions of DNA. This approach, which he called wave genetics, suggested that DNA is not only a chemical structure, but also a carrier of electromagnetic and acoustic information, going beyond the framework of classical genetics. It's important to note that Garyaev's theories were not accepted by mainstream academic science, and his work was not independently replicated in top scientific journals. Therefore, wave genetics is considered a speculative or even pseudoscientific hypothesis. This does not mean that Garyaev was an imposter or intentionally lying. His ideas simply did not meet the strict criteria of modern scientific methodology.
A man who questioned the dominant dogmas of molecular biology and saw DNA not merely as a set of chemical letters, but as a system capable of emitting, receiving, and interpreting information. Today, we embark on a journey that will make you ask, what is life truly? What role do words and frequencies play in our genetic code? And what if death is not what we think it is? Garyaev claimed that death is not inevitable. Exactly 1 month before being considered for a Nobel Prize, he died. Coincidence? Or a truth too dangerous? Why do people who live right, eat well, exercise, take vitamins, still suffer, age, and die? Why does medicine treat symptoms rather than the cause? He proposed something revolutionary. Death is not a law of nature, but a faulty program, a code executed daily through our words, thoughts, and emotions. Sounds incredible? That's exactly what people told him. Ridiculed, ignored, labeled a pseudo-researcher. And yet, his experiments continued to produce strange results, impossible to completely ignore. He viewed DNA differently from everyone else, as a living communication system, which not only stores information, but emits it as waves. Waves that can be measured and respond to words. Words filled with hatred, destroy. Words filled with love, rebuild. Not metaphorically, but physically, at the molecular level, visible under a microscope. A single word spoken with hatred can have effects similar to lethal radiation. A sincere prayer can restore what seemed lost. Garyaev always said, "Every word is a command." The body listens. the body executes. When you have words of fear, you run the death program. When you have words of life, you run the health program.
Ultimately, his message is simple and profound. You are not a victim of your body. You are its programmer. Change the words, change the frequencies, change the code, and life will respond. Garyaev's popularity did not come from the academic world, but from outside it. His books, conferences, and interviews reached the general public because they promised something extremely appealing: a direct connection between consciousness, words, and health. For many disappointed by conventional medicine, his message sounded like hope. Online, there is frequent mention that he was close to winning a Nobel Prize. It is important to be precise. There is no official confirmation from the Nobel Foundation or the Karolinska Institute. Any such claims come exclusively from unofficial sources or accounts from his supporters.
Piotr Garyaev died in November 2020. Official cause: heart attack. There are no investigations or documents indicating otherwise. Subsequent speculations relate more to the emotional impact of his ideas than to confirmed facts. Today, Piotr Garyaev remains a controversial figure. From an official scientific standpoint, his theories are not accepted. From a cultural standpoint, however, he influenced the way many people think about the relationship between mind, body, and language.
It's important to distinguish between verified facts, speculative hypotheses, compelling stories. Pyotr Garyaev was not a Nobel laureate and did not scientifically demonstrate immortality. But he was a man who asked uncomfortable questions. And sometimes, questions are more important than answers. If you want content that clearly separates facts from myths, subscribe and tell me in the comments. Do you think science should explore such ideas more or stay strictly within current boundaries?